after Tanzania President John Pombe Magufuli revealed that Kenya will import 500 doctors from Tanzania. The Kenyan Health Cabinet Secretary Cleopa Mailu and the Governor's Council representative Jack Ranguma secured the deal with Tanzania, and as Duncan Kayamba reports, the Tanzanian government immediately advertised the vacancies to be filled.
Madaktari tafadhalini, rudini kazi, jameni, musifike kiwango tupigane. Mimi nawauliza mrudi kazi, ukikosa kurudi kazi ni nyumbani mutaenda na tutatafuta madaktari wengine. Wakenya hawawezi waendelee kuumia. Tunaelewana hivyo?
That was an enraged President Uhuru Kenyatta last week in Turkana County when he fired warning shots as the then 100-day doctor strike dragged on, emerging as the worst strike in the country's history since 1994.
Rudi kazi tuongee pesa. Lakini ukiendelea kukaa nje, it's not acceptable. Hawezi hapana, hiyo hakuna hiyo. Hiyo lazima watu warudi kazi.
But unknown to them, the government had triggered a mechanism to begin filling the gaps left by doctors, a plan that has been officially communicated by Tanzania President John Pombe Magufuli at State House, Dar es Salaam.
Tutapeleka madaktari 500, wako madaktari ambao ni wale ambao hawafanyi kazi sasa hivi. Wale ambao hawana kazi sasa hivi, ambao hawafanyi kazi serikalini, ndio hao tutawapeleka kule waende wakafanye kazi.
And immediately the communication was made, Tanzania's Ministry of Health issued a quick notice asking all qualified doctors to apply for the jobs in Kenya with immediate effect. And they have until Monday, 27th of March, 4 p.m. to hand in the applications. The successful 500 doctors will be given a 2-year contract.
Na bahati nzuri, wenzetu wamekubali kwamba watalipa kwa mishahara vizuri, kwa terms za dola, watawapa accommodation, pamoja na security, na sisi tukaona hili ni vizuri.
Kenyan doctors are reading a sinister motive in this importation, saying the move by the government is a plan to refuse to honor the recently signed return to work formula. KMPDU Secretary General Dr. Ouma Oluga, however, says there are about 1,400 Kenyan doctors awaiting employment despite the severe shortages being experienced. He adds that as per the law, the soon-to-be imported doctors will have to undergo procedures which include examinations by the medical board, and that would take not less than 3 months unless that regulation is disregarded. Kenyan delegation which sealed the Kenya-Tanzania doctors deal was led by Health Cabinet Secretary Dr. Cleopa Mailu and Kisumu Governor Jack Ranguma, who was representing the Council of Governors. Duncan Hemba, KTN.
Our reporter in Dar es Salaam, Rajab Hassan, caught up with one Dr. Hafsa Mohammed, a doctor in Tanzania, to get her reaction on this deal and just exactly what it means for the Tanzanian doctors. Take a look.
Sending 500 doctors to Kenya is okay, since Kenya needs doctors. But it's absurd for Tanzania to send Tanzanian doctors while Tanzania still needs doctors. The current ratio of physician population ratio of Tanzania is 0.31 to 20,000. So Tanzania needs more doctors. The government stopped employing doctors 2 years ago. We are not being absorbed. Plus, there are issues in Kenya that needs to be sorted. They recently concluded a 100-day strike. So before I take myself to Kenya, I think issues needs to be sorted out in Kenya before I can go.
Do you think Tanzania has qualified doctors who can work in a Kenyan health sector?
So long as they have passed the medical examination board, they have been registered and they are licensed. Yeah, they are qualified to work in Kenya.
How strong medical workers union here in Tanzania? Do you think this union can stop this deal to happen?
The union can stop the deal or go ahead with it, so long as before agreeing to anything, they talk to their counterparts in Kenya. Like talk to Dr. Ouma Oluga and ask if it is okay for their members to go and work in Kenya.
Well, thank you very much, Rajab. There, a reporter from Dar es Salaam, just getting a quick reaction from Tanzania. There, and we hear the doctor saying that Tanzania is yet to reach that required World Health Organization required ratio of doctor to patients. Remember, this is what we are discussing tonight on our Saturday night poll. Just give us your views on what you think about this move to import doctors from Tanzania. And still on health crisis, there was a big sigh of relief at Kenya's main referral hospital, the Kenyatta National Hospital, after a return-to-work deal was signed with the doctors' union. All the 264 doctors will now go back to work after the KNH CEO Lily Koros and the KMPDU Secretary General Omar Oluga signed the return-to-work formula, ending the conflict over the membership of KNH doctors in KMPDU.
This is a delightful moment for us, and we have agreed, and the documents have been signed, a return to work agreement, and therefore we advise all our members to resume work immediately because the strike that affected Kenyatta National Hospital is forthwith off. Thank you.
We are quite delighted to have this document signed. One and foremost, because from today henceforth, we know our patients are going to receive the services that they've so long looked forward to. So we want to appreciate the fact that we have been able to reach this amicable solution with the KMPDU to ensure that things resume fully. Despite the challenges that we had, I think we've been able to agree on the middle ground, and we are now able to say that we can move on.
Away from health matters, and Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta today made a historic visit to Somalia, meeting Kenyan troops serving under the African Union mission in Somalia at Dhobey military camp. Dressed in military fatigues, Uhuru met KDF and thanked them for their sacrifice and service to Kenya. The visit was the first of its kind, aimed at lifting morale of Kenyan troops, though Uhuru has been to the Somali capital Mogadishu previously on other state engagements. Uhuru told the soldiers that their being in the Somalia mission had saved many lives that would have been lost to the Al-Shabaab terror group. The Dhobey military camp is the headquarters of the AMISOM, a nav center, and a log base for the UN.
Kasema ni vizuri tuwe tunakuja kuwatembelea, tuwawekee motisha na tuambie ya kwamba please keep your spirits high, please keep the morale and tempo, knowing that what you do each and every day is not only recognized but fully appreciated, na tutafanya sisi lolote kuhakikisha ya kwamba tumewasaidia na tumewasimamia kwa njia yoyote.
4 members of parliament from northern Kenya allied to the opposition have claimed the Jubilee administration is trying to blackmail leaders from the Somali community to back Jubilee in the August polls. Led by Balambala MP Abdikadir Aden, the leaders claim the government has threatened to turn the entire region into a security operations zone if the community votes for the opposition.
Jubilee in the last 4 years does not have anything to show in northern Kenya except death and destruction. And we are telling our people that do not accept to be cheated to bring back this regime. That is our message here today. You have put our people in concentration camps in Kasarani. We have challenged you on this. You have never come out to answer in honesty to the people of northern Kenya. Do not accept any votes from them.
We will go to every county and tell the people the fact. The people of northern Kenya know what they have gone through for the last 5 years. They have undergone a lot of pain. They know for themselves. And there's no way with their common sense, without intimidation, they will be able to vote this government. So we are just telling the Jubilee government they should stop intimidating people.
The issue of access to very basic items like ID cards and passports are still a big issue. Somalis are up to now being subjected to a very discriminatory vetting process as if they are not Kenyans. We expected the government to work on some of these things, but unfortunately, things have gone from bad to worse.
Why is it so peculiar that the president is so much obsessed with clanism in northern Kenya? I think the only reason is because he wants to divide them into clans, then rule them. The easier way to rule the Somali community is to divide them into clans, then you will get an opportunity to rule them. So we want to ask the president to stop this culture of perpetuating clanism in the country. We want to ask the president to at least meet a county as a whole. If he wants to meet Garissa people, let him meet as Garissa County people. If he wants to meet Wajiri people, let him meet as Wajiri people.
If Jubilee feels that is very popular, then it should stop the intimidation and coercion and targeting of individuals who are not in their party to come to their party.
Now, the recent ban by the Kenyan government on the use of all plastic bags effective September this year is a directive that has stirred emotions in many quarters. But perhaps the biggest opposition to that directive has come from manufacturers of plastic bags who feel disenfranchised by the move. KTN's Timothy Otieno spoke to some of them and now brings us the story of many others outside the manufacturing industries who are yet to warm up to the idea of a plastic-free society.
It is this Gazette notice dated the 28th of February 2017 notifying the Kenyan public that come September this year, the use, manufacture and importation of all plastic bags used for commercial and household packaging shall be forbidden. That is causing jitters among very many.
I think I do support the government on this initiative. The only issue would be now, what alternative are they offering us in terms of, because we use the bags to package everything.
This ban has two sides. One, there are people who will lose jobs, companies will have to close down, but then at the same time we need to conserve our environment. Remember, Mother Nature doesn't care.
Among those concerned is this industrial worker. Kennedy Ochieng has been working at this polythene manufacturing plant for 15 years and is concerned that 6 months from now, when the directive takes effect, he could be out of a job for a man depending on his earnings here at the King Plastic Industries to support his 2 wives and 5 children.
Ningeomba minister concerned akuje na hiyo waste management policy ndio ileta hata kazi mingi kwa hii kampuni yote ya plastic.
The factory, with a workforce of over 500 employees, is concerned that the government directive to ban plastic bags could drive them out of business. Priyav Shah is this company's CEO and insists the Environment Cabinet Secretary Judy Wakungu did not consult manufacturers before making the decision.
Banning is almost leapfrogging our fundamental infrastructure policy. We need waste management, regardless if it's plastic or not.
Most of the about 4,500 tons worth of plastic bags produced monthly by plastic manufacturing plants in Nairobi end up here at garage sites where people like Peter Okumu sort them before reselling the polythene to companies that recycle them.
Nafanya hii kazi ya waste kuanzia kitambo, nimekuwa ikinilisha, imekuwa ikinilipia nyumba, imekuwa ikinivalisha. Hiyo ndio biashara nimejua kuanzia nitoke shule.
This site, located along Enterprise Road in Nairobi, to passers-by may appear just like any other dumping ground. But for those who sort through the plastic here, this pile of garbage is the goose that lays them the golden egg.
Hii ndio kazi yetu, hatuna biashara ingine tunaweza fanya. Hii ndio inatuliza, kila mtu ako na familia yake. Sasa kama hii biashara nimefanya zaidi ya miaka 20 na ndio nimesomesha watoto wangu, ndio wanakula, nimeajiri watu. Sasa wakisema hii tumalize, ni kusema wale watoto wetu tuko nao waende wakaibe.
So it's not only factory jobs that are meant to be affected if this particular ban takes effect come September 2017. Informal jobs such as the sorting of these items along some of the major roads in Nairobi are also going to affect many more people who depend on this trade for their livelihoods. I am told that on a good day, somebody can walk away with about 500 shillings in a day through sorting of these items for recycling.
This lot, alongside many others, for more than 60,000 people who either directly or indirectly depend on the survival of their industry for their daily upkeep. The ban affecting carrier bags often used in supermarkets and flat bags often used in packaging of fruits and food items is most likely to affect over 35 polythene manufacturing companies with a human capital edging close to 20,000 people.
Tunauliza tu swali moja, wana create job ama wanafanya to lose job? Juu kama sisi vijana wa Dandora tutaenda wapi? Sasa vijana wakayande unajua Dhobey unaona ni noma. Sasa gava inafaa kuona hiyo repercussion after close job. Wana expect sisi tubievaje mtaani? Juu ni noma, tuna mabibi tumeoa tuna hii age alafu gava ifunge business September. Ni noma re.
But the material, often regarded as an environmental nuisance due to its non-biodegradable nature, has seen the government on two different occasions in 2007 and 2011 unsuccessfully try to enforce the ban. Manufacturers at the time lobbied against the move, insisting it would affect the country's industrial and economic growth for a sector pumping in an estimated 5.2 billion shillings annually in form of tax revenues to the government. The government nonetheless says in 6 months, the polythene matter will be done and dusted. Timothy Otieno, KTN News.
Thank you, Timothy, for that perspective. Now, Amani National Congress Party leader Musalia Mudavadi and Ford Kenya Party leader Moses Wetangula have vowed that the National Super Alliance will remain united and deliver the presidency in the August polls. The two NASA principals assured their supporters across the country that they will put the interest of Kenyans first in the search for the joint presidential flag bearer.
Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula conveyed with other leaders at Kigoye Secondary School in Vihiga County during the Requiem Mass for Kenya's pioneer education minister, the late Joseph Daniel Otiende. The area enjoys massive following for the opposition National Super Alliance. But with recent media reports of a possible split over the presidential flag bearer, the leaders moved fast to assure their supporters that NASA was intact.
Tusidanganyane, kuna joto. Kuna joto kwa sababu kila mtu anataka nafasi yake kwa hiyo hema. Lakini tumesema hata joto ikiwa namna gani tubaki tu kwa hiyo hema.
Na wale wakereketwa wetu pia mpunguze yale makale ya ulimi zenu, kwa sababu za zingine nyinyi ndio mnasema maneno ya kwanza sisi kufikiria vingine. You must know that we are brothers and brothers we shall remain and nothing will change. Musalia akipata nitakuwa nimepata, mimi nikipata atakuwa amepata.
Lakini naweza kuwajulishia ya kwamba hawa wenzetu waine wameshikana vilivyo.
So kodi sasa iko katika kaburi. We cannot continue reviving mambo ya code ati sijui ahadi hii ama ahadi fulani ya 2013, hiyo hakuna. Sasa ni NASA.
The leaders say they have no selfish ambition to go it alone in the forthcoming general elections. They urge their supporters to be calm and wait for the right time when the flag bearer will be unveiled.
Na sisi si wajinga. We know very well under the constitution there shall be one president and there shall be one deputy president. But we also know to provide the real alternative, we must come together. So out of the four, according to the constitution, whether we like it or not, there shall be one president and there shall be one deputy president.
Sisi tushikane, tusiwachane, tufanye kazi pamoja, tusiongee sana, kwa sababu tukiongea sana maneno yale ambayo inatoka kwa mdomo ndio inaweza kuvunja nyumba mkubwa.
Unajua katika siasa you must be prepared to sacrifice. Mkisema nyinyi wote mnataka, mnatuumiza. You must be prepared to sacrifice so that When you are together, you must agree that you give us one person and you must do it as fast as possible.
The opposition leaders blame the Jubilee administration for the high cost of living, failing to tame corruption and insecurity in various parts of the country.
In any country, when a government resorts to using the army to suppress internal issues, it's a failed government.
Patrick Amimo, KTN News.
All right, we want to take a short break now here on KTN Weekend Prime. But before we do that, let's remind you of our Saturday night call today. And we are focusing on that move or that deal that the Kenyan government is getting in with Tanzania to import 500 doctors from that country. There are very many aspects at play here. We've seen that quick reaction, as we've seen from our reporter in Dar es Salaam, just showing a doctor there saying, but Tanzania in itself hasn't reached that required doctor to population ratio. Here in Kenya, there is still a shortage of doctors, but the Doctors Union says that we have doctors here, up to 1,400 of them, who are yet to be employed. So what do you think? Do you support that move to import 500 doctors from Tanzania? Do share with us your thoughts. Tweet us at KTN News, at KTN Kenya, or directly to me at Sharon_Momanyi. I shall be sampling your views as we continue. Let's take that short break now. Don't go too far. Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. Nairobi Governor Dr. Evans Kidero and ODM Nairobi Branch Chairman George Aladwa have indicated that Kidero will be the NASA joint candidate in the race for Nairobi governorship. Speaking in Nairobi this morning, Kidero also indicated that the NASA team will field only one joint candidate for each elective post in August.
That for Nairobi, in NASA, we are several parties and we are going to go for joint nominations so that the best candidate is the one who will face anybody who's nominated from the other side. Starting from the president, we're going to have nominations so that only one of our four principals will have the presidential ticket. Governor will only have one in NASA in Nairobi. Senator will only have one in NASA. Women rep will only have one in NASA. Of the 17 constituencies, we'll have joint nominations so that every constituency has only one candidate facing the other opposition. And of the 85 wards, we'll only have one candidate per ward.
Hatuna candidate ambaye tayari ameweza kujiandikisha katika kiti cha ugavana apart from Governor Kidero ambaye ndio candidate wetu wa NASA chini ya muungano wetu, na vile vile tutaka kusema wale wako katika Jubilee wakuwe tayari kupambana kwa sababu haitakuwa rahisi kumtoa Governor Kidero. Sisi tumejiandaa kuweka kura zetu pamoja na kuona kwamba Governor Kidero amerudi tena.
The Baringo wave of insecurity has taken a devastating toll on families living there. Women and children remain the most affected. And as the country looks to the executive order to have the army intervene, we lift the veil behind the statistics and look at one family's loss. Dorcas Wangira with the story.
Cynthia Katea has been left orphaned at the age of 6. She understands very little of a conflict that has stained the diverse county of Baringo for years. The latest wave of retaliatory attacks in Mukutani, Baringo South, has had a steep cost. Her mother, Nolmeeseki Katea, brother and grandmother, Maria Parkitore, were killed. She, badly injured. Her anguish beyond words. 6 years earlier, she had lost her father in another bandit attack. Her maternal uncle, Benjamin Katea, has to be strong for her. It's not that simple.
Ni uchungu sana kwa sababu hata saizi sijui kenye inaendelea huko nyumbani, na najaribu tu communicate na watu wenye wako nyumbani ili wakaweze kupanga mambo yote ambayo yanahitajika kuhusiana na mambo ya mazishi yao wapendwa ambao waliweza kutuacha.
Her brother, Bosco Lenapunya, who is nursing injuries at the Nakuru Provincial General Hospital, narrated to a standard newspaper team of the retaliatory attack that lasted for 2.5 hours. His grandmother, seeking refuge in a church, could not save them either. A pregnant woman was not spared as well. The bloodletting has made the once lively Mukutani village a ghost town, patrolled by armed officers and National Police Reservists.
We need peace. And we are not asking now, we are demanding to be protected. In the African tradition, men go to war and they kill men, but not mothers and children. But this has gone too far.
In conflicts such as this that has prevailed for years, drawing the line between the aggressor and the victim is daunting. The narrative established that there had been plans to repulse the foreseen attack in Mukutani. Women and children were assembled at the Full Gospel Church, others at Mukutani Primary School and at the AP camp. Unarmed, they were willing to do all they could to prevent the attack. Later, they were assured that the attack would not happen, and the children, the elderly, and the women were taken back home. A costly mistake that made them an easy target.
Kama ilikuwa ni mambo na ng'ombe, mambo na ardhi, haingeenda zaidi mahali ambayo imefikia mpaka watoto wadogo wanaanza kuchinjwa na wamama wao wanauawa, watoto wao wakiangalia. Ni kitu ambayo ni chungu sana.
Alfaxad Kimboi, the Rift Valley Provincial General Hospital nursing officer in charge, where she was first treated, said on Wednesday that her condition was stable. She has since been receiving treatment at the Nairobi hospital. The government has flexed its muscle, deploying the army to restore peace in a troubled county.
I wish to reiterate again that my administration cannot and will not condone the blatant violation of the rights guaranteed in our Constitution.
But for Sintea, there are things lost that she cannot recover.
This girl is now an orphan. What are we saying? What future do we have for this girl? What is going to happen?
Bado tu ako na ile trauma na kwamba bado anakumbuka yale ambayo yametendeka. Saa zingine anaanza kustuka usiku na mara nyingine tena anaanza kulialia akiitaita mama yake marehemu. Usalama ndio tunahitaji. Bora usalama ikuje ndio tunahitaji zaidi.
When the veil of statistics of the lives lost, residents displaced, victims scarred and maimed, her life is a portrait of the cost of conflict. And beyond the intended purge of bandits and violent crime, there will be many lives seeking to be rebuilt. Dorcas Wangira, KTN News.
Absolutely devastating to see the faces of this conflict. Now, leaders and educationists have called on learning institutions to embrace equal opportunities for both genders in schools to boost performance across Kenya. Speaking during a Thanksgiving ceremony at Moi High School, Kabarak, Baringo Senator Gideon Moi sought to debunk the belief that single-sex schools perform better. He said providing equal opportunities in learning institutions is the only way to bridge the performance gap in schools. The school posted a mean grade of B+ with a performing index of 9.7, with 312 candidates out of the registered 324 securing places in various universities in the country. 2 students had A plane, while 93 students scored A-.
Gisuto, Mzee Melody McKenna.
To education stakeholders and all Kenyans, my assurance is that the school has continued to provide equal opportunities to both the boy child and the girl child. All of you here today can attest the fact that Moi High School Kabarak has helped demystify the myth that only single-sex schools perform well. It has since inception been the top mixed school performer. To our 2016 class, whom we are celebrating today, we wish you success and God's blessing in your future endeavors.
Our fidelity not only to high academic standards, but also values and moral character is founded in our school's foundation, which is anchored upon Christian teachings. It is for this reason, ladies and gentlemen, that the Moi High School Kabarak verse is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 1, which says, "Remember your Creator in the days of your youth."
Okay, guys, so this is a place where I say I'm a proud alumnus of Moi High School Kabarak. Okay, we take another short break here on KTN Weekend Prime. Don't go too far. We have more news when we return. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, locals in Lamu's Mpeketoni area have taken matters into their hands in saving a dying wildlife population that is succumbing to the effects of drought. The area's wild animals that were dying after the freshwater lake Kenyatta dried up can now breathe easy after locals decided to refill the lake themselves.
Smack in the middle of Mpeketoni, Lamu County is Lake Kenyatta, or at least what is left of it. Owing to the prolonged drought, its reserves have been depleted. The once beautiful attraction for nature lovers is now dotted with the carcasses of hippos and buffaloes. You see, this water body was the only freshwater source for animals, but as it dried up, all that was left behind was concentrated mud in which many of the animals died.
Juzi tulitoa zaidi ya wanyama 10 pale. Ilikuwa imetolewa na mheshimiwa PA wa MP wetu, Mheshimiwa Ndegwa. Akaja akafanya vijana wakatoa wale nyama wakaweka kando. Hivi sasa hii maji ilikuwa ni ya chumvi, lakini sasa hii maji ukionja ni maji ya kawaida ya lake.
But as concern grew about the animals' fate, a discovery short of a miracle was made by a local here, an abandoned well with fresh water enough to go around. 5 dedicated locals together with NYS officials and KWS officers got to work immediately. And as the lake got replenished, one by one, the animals began returning, many from local farms where they had taken refuge, solving yet another of this area's problems.
Kiboko tumewazoea kuwaona, lakini nyati wamekuwa ni kidonda sugu kwetu. So tungeliomba pia tupate usaidizi mkubwa, hata tupate mashine kubwa, pipe nyingi kubwa ziweze kusaidia hii leki yetu, wanyama wapate maji, waache kwenda kwa wananchi, warudi hapa katika institute yetu iko hapa.
Typically, Lake Kenyatta is estimated to cover a stretch of 3.7 square kilometers, but its present state is worrying conservationists and local authorities. For now, though, there is hope for the remaining animals, even as the ravages of drought continue to bite. Trix Ingado, KTN News, Nairobi.
All right, let's now take a look at your feedback on our Saturday night poll. And tonight, we had asked you whether you support the deal to import 500 doctors from Tanzania. And I just want to sample a few of your views. And Papa Del Alfayo says that instead of creating employment for the youth, they import doctors from another country. Bernard Rono says, no need, we have specialized doctors unless the government wants to corrupt it. And Wesh says, no, that is just blackmail. We have unemployed doctors and still we are getting doctors from who are working outside the country is what he says. One last one, Jari Momogi says it is absurd to import doctors, yet we have unemployed doctors in Kenya. The national and county governments is being insincere. Many thanks for your views tonight. Just to get a sum total of your views, 25% of you agree with this move to import doctors. 66% of you completely disagree with it. 9% of you are undecided whether this is a good move or not. Many thanks for engaging with us on this particular matter. We take another short break now, but we have sports news coming up. Sports news now, and Kenya Federation will abide by Sports Dispute Tribunal decision to reinstate Muhoroni Youth and Sofapaka to the Kenya Premier League. According to FKF President Nick Mwendwa, the two teams will be allowed to participate in the top-tier league this season, but will still have to comply with club licensing requirements before 2018.
A day after returning from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where a new face of African football leadership was elected into office, Football Kenya Federation President Nick Mwendwa reacted on the recent changes both locally and in Africa.
Change has come to CAF, change came to Kenya last year, change came to FIFA, and now change has come to CAF. And so following that change, I wanted to say to Kenyans that I have a commitment, and I had a commitment before this election, that whatever happens, Chan will be in Kenya. That's a commitment from the new CAF president. That's a commitment from the entire EXCO that was elected.
The FKF boss also explained the federation's stand on Sports Dispute Tribunal decision to reinstate Muhoroni and Sofapaka back to the Kenyan Premier League.
The court has spoken. The SDT has spoken. And we are happy to abide to it. and we shall abide to it. The debate is over about which teams play in the Kenya Premier League. As FKF, we are happy with the decision of SDT because we were not in the first place out there to vilify anyone.
However, the two teams will still have to comply before 2018.
And so for me, I'd say, for Sofapaka and Moroni, welcome to the league. I will say, go comply. Because you will be out if you don't comply. And we will do it again and again and again until they comply.
Mwendwa also cleared the air on the new promotion and relegation criteria. The two last teams in KPL will be automatically demoted to the second tier, with the 16th place team going to the playoff with the third best team in NSL. Abula Ahmed, KTN Sports.
And Football Kenya Federation President Nick Mwendwa has revealed that Kenya will bid to host 2020 World Under-17 World Cup. Mwendwa said that the federation will present its bid documents in June 2018 during the FIFA Congress when the bidding for the 2020 Junior Tournament opens. Kenya is set to host CHAN in 2018, and Mwendwa says the success of the tournament will be vital for Kenya's bid.
We are planning to bid for the World Cup Under-17 championships, whose bidding will be in June of 2018, I believe. It will be at the AGM of 2018, at the FIFA AGM of 2018. But for us is that if the change is implemented across the continent, then we benefit. That's.
And Finnish driver Tapio Lankanen, navigated by Gavin Lawrence in a Subaru Impreza, claimed his maiden Safari Rally victory in this year's edition that came to an end in Nakuru County. Tapio beat 6 times former Kenyan champion Ian Duncan by 22 seconds on his way to the win, to win the 65th edition in a time of 1 hour, 54 minutes and 12 seconds. Ian Duncan finished second, while Carl Tando in his Mitsubishi Evolution 10 finished third. Onka Rai in his Skoda R5 moved from yesterday's 7th place to finish 4th after recording 1 hour, 57 minutes. Youngster Karan Patel finished 5th as defending champion Jasprit Chatter took the 6th position. Ulinzi FC were eliminated from the CAF Confederation Cup despite recording a 3-0 win over Egyptian side Smoha SC in a match played at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos. With the Soldiers needing to put 4 goals past their opponents, Ulinzi began the match on a bright note, taking the lead in the 10th minute through Samuel Onyango. The goal seemed to put more energy into the Kenyan side's attack as they doubled the lead 17 minutes later through Samuel Onyango. In the second half, Ulinzi were restricted to only 1 goal as Egyptian killed their intent of qualifying to this next stage. Smoha qualified after with a 4-3 win on aggregate. And Rain Saxton took an overnight lead after the second day of the KCB Current Masters that is ongoing in Nairobi. Saxton recorded 66 points ahead of second-placed Will Besseling. Tom Murray and Julian van den Vaart tied on the third place after recording 67 points. After finishing second on day 1, Ben Evans dropped to 5th position with 68 points. Kenya's M.M. Ngugi took the 10th position with 69 points. In the team category, Tom Murray and Fernando Wangile carded 62 points ahead of Matthew Del Podio and Sean Dan, who settled for second, while Greg Snow and Tony Chege took on the third place.
Changamoto yenye imekuwa mbaya sana kwangu ni namba 17. Imenisumbua hapo ndio iliniletea shida zote, lakini nilikuwa nimecheza mzuri.
All right, and that is where we wind up this edition of KTN Weekend Prime. Many thanks for watching and for engaging with us on our Saturday night poll. On behalf of everyone that made this live broadcast a reality, I do wish you a good night and a splendid weekend ahead. God bless.